Facebook, please permit us to use the music that we have today for our program. Welcome to Onyayala Nwanneya broadcast. You are welcome, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining. And please help us to share the program and make it go viral, make it to reach everybody. There are lots of people that need this information. We want everybody to hear, because the more we share, the more people hear about it, the more we all unite together with one purpose and be able to achieve our goal. So we have to take it from here. Thank you, our brother Peacock and your group. We appreciate you, because we have to go straight to the point. Thank you. We appreciate the Peacocks and their welcoming music. It says, Onyayala Nwanneya. Maybe some of you will say you heard this Onyayala Nwanneya music the other time, and now I am playing it again today. You know, when I stumbled to that Onyayala Nwanneya music by the Peacock, I realized that that's the name of our, of our broadcast, of our media. Peacocks are the people like, the Igbos in those days. They are the prophets, they are the seers. They see things that did not happen, that was about to happen, and things that will be happening in the future that nobody was talking about. So all these things, they put them together and they tell us that these things are something that are coming to happen. And they say when it happens, please stay together, because we are one blood, we are one people, one body. We are from the same ancestral father, ancestral mother. We are just one. Our grandmothers, our mothers, they were, they tie the two-piece wrappers, and then to show that they are one. We have our market days, our 4 market days. The Eke Oye are for Nkwo market days that unites us all together, the Igbos, the Biafrans, and to make sure that we know that we are from the same ancestral roots. Therefore, we have this Onyayala Nwanneya music, and each time the Igbos talk about things, listen to them. It's always about Onyayala Nwanneya. Imi beme, anya ebeme, onye shi nke m dịrị ma ọshi nke onye fuo. Igwe bụ ike, gidigidi bụ ugwu eze. Ihe niile ndị a ihe ndị Igbo na-ekwu. And majority of the whole things they talk about. Abịa ha asị gị ebebere ugobere, abịakwa gwa gị na nke ọbụla si na ibe agaghị ebe nku ga-akwa ya. Onye si ibe ya nọrọ onye nọrọ ma onye si ibe ya nọ na ọnwụ kpọ ya ihu. Ọnwa anyị kwuru o bidoro na gboo, ndị Igbo na-eji ekwu okwu. Ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m, our people, we thank you for joining us this afternoon, joining us this morning, this evening, this night, as your time permits you. Here in our Pacific region, it's afternoon. Some people are now about to go to bed. Some people are already sleeping. And others, this is their early morning. So wherever we are and whatever we are doing, as long as we have time to join, anytime that we can get this awareness information, please, all we ask from you is for you to circulate it, share it, make it go viral. Share it on your platforms. If you're on your WhatsApp platforms, share it there. On your Facebook platform, share it there. On your Twitter handles, on your Instagram handles, wherever you are, share it. Even those of you on Messenger, share it. Let our people hear. Let them, be aware of their environment and what is about to happen and what is happening. For today, we are not going to stay long. We're just coming here to give you a piece of information that you go home and you think about it. But before we start, my name is Mwada Rosemary Williams. You know me. I am your daughter and your sister, aka the Amazon. And today's date is September 4, 2023. Ụbọchị ọnwa itoolu gbara abalị anọ n'ime afọ 2023. We welcome you all. And this is the beginning of a new month. Even though it's already the 4th day, we say for everybody born in the month of September, happy birthday to you. We rejoice with you and your family members. We don't know you by names. We cannot be calling everybody by names. But from the September 1 to September 30th, the last day of September, all the people celebrating and that will be celebrating in this month, we say happy birthday to you, and we wish you many more healthy, happy days ahead and years. Thank you. So my people, we want to wish you, I especially, Mwada Rosemary, want to use this special moment to thank our Biafran people, especially our Igbo people in the Eastern region, those that have made it a point of duty to sit at home on Mondays and observe the Monday sit at home in support of our brother and our leader, the son of the soil, Ohamadike Ndiwo, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom the Nigerian government have kidnapped, and they are very proud that they kidnapped him and that they are holding him in captivity. And they want to hold him and ask the Igbo people, what can you do? And ask the Biafran people, the Eastern region in general, what can you do? And it's unfortunate that only the young ones are able to see the insolence of all this, the insult being heaped upon the Igbos and the Biafra at large by holding our own son, the son of Igbo man, a prince for that matter, who's supposed to have taken over from his father's kingship when he passed on. And since his father passed on, they caged him. Igbo na-asị na isi nwaagụ adịghị efu na mba. A prince, a king. He was a king in the making when they kidnapped him. And since then, they're still holding him. And all the Igbo political class have to do is to run around to chase money, to chase affluence, to chase wealth. And unfortunately, the day they die, even myself sitting here, even you watching me, anybody that dies, the wealth will not go with you. Your affluence will not go with you. Your money will not go with you. All the mansions, all the flashy cars, name them, everything you have, the 10 wardrobes of clothing that you have, none of them will go with you. Well, they can pity you because nobody wants you to go without your dignity. So that's why they can only put you a clothes on your body just to cover you up. And some people don't even have anything to cover them up. They may use a piece of cloth to cover you up and bury you. When they bury you, you'll be eaten by the ants. You will decay. You will turn into soil, into manure. And the trees around the place you are buried will enjoy because you have become a manure to them. All the good food you have eaten when you were alive, they turn into a good food for the tree. The ants will eat and become fat. That's all the goodness that your wickedness will take you to. That's why when you are alive, you're supposed to be doing good to people. You're supposed to be, showing humanity, loving and caring. Because when you go, people will remember you as a loving and caring person. Your memory will linger. And if you are doing bad also, people will remember you for doing bad. Somebody like Hope Uzodimma, any day he dies, the people have already canonized him by making him Udelene Riozu. It's not a good thing. Nnaiku Sam Mbakwe, he lived, he died. The former governor of Imo State. People still remember him as the man of the people. He lived good. He ruled good. He died good. His good memory will always follow him. Even he has died for years, but we still remember him. Even what children that did not know him, when they read the books, when they hear the stories, when they hear the broadcast, they will say, oh, there was a governor of Imo State that was named, whose name was Sam Mbakwe, and he lived a good life. And also, in the time of Hope, when he leave this world and die, people will say there was a governor of Imo State that people used to make music, and they called him Udele Neriozu, king of the vultures. Which one will you choose? The memory of Sam Mbakwe or the memory of Hope Uzodimma, even though he's still alive? So we thank everybody that participated in the sit at home. And you see, when you are sitting at home, it makes it easy because we do not have to cry that we lost somebody here, or that somebody was shut down, that somebody died, or do this or do that. No, because you obeyed, you listened, you joined, because we are all inside this together. You sit in your house. When you sit in your house, nothing bad will befall you. But if others are sitting in in their houses and you are walking about aimlessly, whatever you see, you get. That's what we're about to tell you. So thank you all, because the court of Nigeria ruled on October 13, 2022, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released. The question is, why are they still holding him in captivity? Why are they still keeping him? Why has he not been released? Why is he still being caged by the Nigerian government and their allies? And we say, you must release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because if you do not release him, whatever you see, you take. You must face the consequences for keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in your custody. You kidnapped him, and then you were saying that, oh, he did something, you wanted to put him to trial, you wanted to do this, you wanted to do that, and yet you put him on trial. When you put him on trial, and he won his case. He won his case clean and clear, and the court said, release him, discharge him, acquit him. Why are you keeping him? You have no jurisdiction whatsoever to hold him down when the court of Nigeria has said, release him. And what are the judges what are the judges saying? They are biting their tongues. If you watch and listen to the last broadcast I made, I said, Nigerian judicial system have lost their dignity, they have lost their moral judgment, they have lost their sanctity, they have no etiquette, they have lost everything that makes them a body of organization. Nigerian courts should force the hands of the Nigerian government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, because all of you will face the consequences one after the other. So for you to know that we were not just talking off point, I will want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this broadcast by somebody else. This is an interview. It's not a broadcast. It's an interview. It says, Emeka gifts officials on X. It says, Nigeria government is claiming defender of democracy, yet they locked up hashtag Nnamdi Kanu, an innocent man, the court has set free in detention without any charges. They locked up Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, an innocent man that the court has set free. They locked him in detention without charges. This is injustice. He continued by saying, Nnamdi Kanu represents Biafra, hashtag Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu represents hashtag Biafra. A political view of over 75 million people. Biafra, a political view of over 75 million people. Nigeria, a puppet of the West, illegally detained him. They keep detaining him. So let's hear the interview, because after this interview, I will leave you to go home and ponder, so that when you see what we are doing, the sit at home or any other thing that will be enforced. Because recently, I have also heard that there will be a curfew coming up after the 15th of this month. If the Nigerian government did not or do not release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after the 15th of September, they will see something else coming their way. I did not make it, but I support anything at all that will crumble the government of Nigeria, as long as they are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in captivity. So I would like to hear this, to know that the Nigerian government is the ones committing the crime. They are the perpetrators of this crime. They are holding an innocent man that represents the faces of over 75 million people. They are holding him down without a charge, without anything. And once they are doing this, any kind of unrest they see, any kind of disobedience they see, they will not blame anybody, but they will blame the Nigerian government. We'll just listen to this, and I will leave you to go home and ponder with it. We are not playing. And that's why I call them breeze. If they are trying to unite the Africa, if they are trying to liberate Africa, if they are trying to do anything good at all for the people of Africa, they should not forget Biafra, because Biafra holds a large quantity of the resources of Africa. So the breeze, when you are organizing, when you are joining, when you are pulling people and liberating people, remember Biafra. Breeze, I'm telling you, you remember Biafra. You have to liberate Biafra to show that you are really fighting for the African people, because we need you to make sure that Biafra is liberated. Let's hear Emeka gives a Twitter handle interview with somebody. I'm trying to get his name, but the only person I saw was that Emeka gave. So let's see what's going on, and let's see what is happening here.
That Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Now we hear this comments, and we appellate the court.
Okay, so this is about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and why people should release him. Because if you do not release him, you are the one that is causing unrest in Nigeria. You are the one that is causing disobedience in Nigeria. You are the one that is promoting any kind of problem that is going on in Nigeria, and you should not blame the people that are fighting for their freedom, and they are fighting for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the thousands and thousands of innocent Biafran and Igbo people that they caged in their custodies. They all must be released. We need them all to be released. Now you listen. It says, Emeka gift official. This was 6 days ago. Anyways, I had these things, but I have not been able to broadcast because of my own schedule. I tried to get the other things in it, but I don't know. And you see there, it says it's talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So let's listen to them. Maybe you will also hear what they are saying.
And thus they gave a ruling that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. And now we hear this comments, and we know that up to now he has not been released. A lawyer said earlier on that the court only has the unction to really give orders for the release, but the court cannot really bring the person out of the prison, right? So Oriwa has really come out to, extend their voice towards the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, as they put it. And Oriwa has also said that the further detention of Nnamdi Kanu will be regarded as kidnapping. What's your take on this, Barrister Archiko?
The law is that once a court gives a decision on a matter, that decision given by the court is the law, pending when it is vacated by an appellate court. Even if a court gives a decision on a matter for which it does not have jurisdiction, that decision remains pending when it is vacated by an appellate court. Even when a court gives a decision on a matter that it does not have jurisdiction, until it is so declared by a higher court, it still remains the position of the law. The reason is very simple, and you don't need to be a law to know that. For the purposes of sanctity, law and order and discipline in the society, decisions of the law courts ought and must be obeyed, pending when a higher court gives a contrary position. Should the higher court hold on to the position of the lower court, it still remains the law until the apex court gives a decision. So if a court awards me, makes awards to me, for instance, that I'm the owner of a particular landed property in dispute, I remain the owner until the Court of Appeal says that I'm not the owner. And if the Court of Appeal says I'm not the owner, that remains the position of the law until the Supreme Court says I'm the owner, or holds on that my counterpart or my adversary as being the owner. The position is, the idea is that let there be sanity, let there be sanctity, let there be honor, let there be discipline. Let public policy and stability of the society, the sanity of the society be maintained. So if the court have said Nnamdi Kanu ought and should be released, Nnamdi Kanu ought and should be released, except a higher court says, either by their final decision or by interlocutory ruling, that he ought and should not be released. If the Court of Appeal gives a decision and the Supreme Court says, look, by an interlocutory application or by a final decision that Nnamdi should not be released, Nnamdi remains in prison. So for anybody to go contrary to the position of the Court of Appeal, the person is causing crisis and instability in the state, and it's unacceptable.
Even if it's the executive or the...
No. The court decision for the parties that are involved in the court decision is binding on them. It doesn't matter whether the decision was given by the customary court. In fact, if two people go on arbitration, even before a deity, the decision of the deity is bound on the parties who willingly submitted themselves to the arbitration to the deity. Even if it's to the chief's palace, and two people are willingly submitted themselves, you are bound by it. Except you take the legal processes and procedures required for you to say, this, I am not bound by this decision. Just as there are legal procedures and processes through which you can say, I am not bound, I'm not comfortable with the Court of Appeal decision. And the process is to initiate the process of appeal, to properly and validly enter an appeal, and for the appeal to be heard. But in all cases, the position of the law remains same. If I go before a deity, or I go before the chief palace to take an oath or to arbitrate a matter, and after the arbitration I'm not comfortable with it and it felt as an irregularity that is done, what I ought and should do is to raise an alarm on the spot, to complain about it, and to meet the condition required by law for you to set aside such, and possibly appeal to higher authority or even the courts to set it aside. So the point here is that once the court has given a decision, it doesn't matter who is involved. It doesn't matter whether it's the federal government or the federation or government of the state or the local government or the all-powerful traditional ruler or minister. The decision of the court is final and it ought and must be obeyed. And in fact, any decision of the court that is not appealed or challenged, in the situation that there's a legal provision for you to challenge them, it remains the law.
So the question is, why is he still in detention? If the court has given an order that
in Africa,
yes,
in Nigeria, the government, the executive, disobeying position of courts is rampant and common. And we can't pretend as Nigerian citizens or Africans that we have not seen where the position or the ruling of courts have been outrightly disobeyed. So it's just one of the many cases of disobedience to court order. And disobedience to court order is a precipice or a forerunner to instability, to crisis. Because if you disobey a court order, or pick and choose the court order to obey and disobey, then it gives confidence or courage to members of the public, particularly when it's coming from the government, to choose court to obey or not to disobey, or even to choose the government policy to obey and disobey. It goes to the weakness of the states in Africa. It goes to the weakness of the institutions. It goes to reinforce the role of powerful individuals who often override or over-influence or influence even official positions of state institutions and policies of government.
So you think this can really cause a chaos in society?
Of course it can. The government is expected to be, the government made a law. And of course, if a law is made, the person who made the law ought to be the most respecter of that law. And if the government proceeds to disobey its own law, what do you expect the citizens to do? To obey the law? So if the court has said Nnamdi Kanu should be released, then Nnamdi Kanu should be released. We have three arms of government. We have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judiciary. Each and all of them work within independence and interrelatedness. And the position of each of them is constitutionally defined. And the pronouncement of policies or programs coming out of them from and within their constitutional powers ought and must be obeyed by the other. So if the executive gives a directive within their constitutional powers, or the legislature makes a law within their acts within their constitutional power, or even the judiciary, it is binding on all the institutions of state, all the citizens, and the entire government structure in itself. So if the National Assembly makes a law pertaining to environment, will the Ministry of Works, Agriculture, or Education go to violate that law because they are a state ministry? Will a judge go to violate the environmental laws made by the government, assuming he wants to build a house, set up a structure, or do something because he's a judge? Will the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria violate the law because he's the president, or even the so-called presidency? You must bind the law. The same thing is applicable to the decision of the court. Once the court has made a decision, until that decision is vacated, it remains the position of the law, and it must be respected. It must be obeyed. It is not the courts are not seeking your position. They are not begging you. They are not patronizing you. They are not trying to placate or to make. They are not trying to make you happy whether you obey the decision of the courts.
Right.
So once the pronouncement is made, it's made. And Nnamdi must obey, and Arochukwu must obey, and every other person must obey, as a matter of fact, and immediately, pending when a contrary position is held by a higher court of jurisdiction.
So you mean that this is a deliberate disobedience from the Minister of Justice?
If the minister and the government of the federation are choosing to,
yes.
Who is Security Council when the court has spoken? The Security Council must obey. There's nothing like Security Council. There's nothing like Economic Council. There's nothing like the president. The court has spoken and you must obey. I use the word must. I have not seen anywhere in our laws as a lawyer where they say that the position of the court is subject to. It is clear. If you are saying, for instance, that I have 5 charges, I've been discharged of 4, you are holding me because of 1. The law must be such that you hold me because of 1. If the law says irrespective of 5 charges, I'm discharged and acquitted, you must obey to the extent. If the law says I'm discharged but not acquitted, you must obey to that extent. The position of the law is clear. In terms of obedience, it's complete and total. It's not negotiable. So if the court has told Nnamdi Kanu to go, then he has to leave. However, that does not suggest that if you told Nnamdi Kanu to leave and he's leaving the courtroom, you cannot rearrest him less than a kilometer from the courtroom for 4 other set of charges or offense. That does not suggest that. A man can discharge me for, the court can acquit and discharge me for armed robbery, and you rearrest me for Afrin.
So you mean the matter of renditions raised by the Justice of that's the Attorney General of Nigeria will come up? And
the government can bring charges against any citizen if they are convinced that the citizen has committed an offense. The police and other relevant state institutions that are responsible for the maintenance of law and order, they can bring charges. But the question is that in bringing charges, the full procedure of the law must be obeyed. The full processes of the law must be obeyed. It doesn't matter where you bring 10,000 charges against me on a particular day.
In this particular case, which process should the Nigerian government or the
Nigerian government have filed their case in court? They have charged Nnamdi Kanu to court, and their case is before the court, and the Court of Appeal has given a decision. Then the Court of Appeal decision must be obeyed. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if the Nigerian government still have another case they want to file against Nnamdi Kanu, unrelated to the charges they have filed before, they are free to file. And if the charges call for him being detained, he may be detained. That if the charges call for him not to be granted bail, he may be granted bail. But as far as this particular one, of which the court, if the court has acquitted and discharged him, it is not within the position of the government to decide whether they will release him or not. In fact, the release should be from that court where he was acquitted and discharged. He should be walking out of the court a free man. But as I told you, if they have some other charges against him, it's a different ballgame altogether. But as far as this particular one is, all the parties involved must obey the law compulsorily. And it is not within their whims and caprices whether they will obey the law or not. They must obey the law. That is why it is called law. After all, that law was made with Buhari in mind, me in mind, you Nnamdi in mind, all the people who constitute the Security Council in mind, the entire DSS or the police in mind, but with all Nigerians in mind, comprising all of us. So when the National Assembly is making laws and should be neutral. They are not trying to pander to your emotions, to my emotions by virtue of standard, but are trying to pander to the emotions of Nigerians, to the well-being of Nigerians, to the goodwill of Nigerians, to the security of Nigerians, to their health, to their prosperity, to their protection. That is not to suggest that human emotions and weaknesses does not come into all these processes, but ordinarily by standards. This is what ought and it should be. And therefore, if the court has said Nnamdi Kanu should go, Nnamdi Kanu should go.
All right. I was going to really ask who is going to go there, bring him out of the prison.
The process of going and bringing him out of the prison is
yes.
Somebody, he was handed over to somebody from the beginning, who was keeping him from the beginning. I think he was charged to court. Applications were made for bail, it was refused. Somebody arrested him. Somebody kept him. Somebody brought him to that court. Somebody brought him to that court now. Somebody arrested and brought him to that court. Somebody filed motions to refuse him bail. Somebody joined issues with him with his lawyers. Isn't it? So you're asking who will bring him back. The person who is holding him should let him go. It is simple. You put him under lock and key in a room. Is there anything complicated about it? And the court has told him to leave from the courtroom. Holding him back into any vehicle, back to where you held him lock and key outrageous. It's completely unacceptable. It's unlawful. They say you should leave, and you should leave. The spirit authority have told you, let him be. Who are you then to keep him? If you are dissatisfied, you go to the higher courts and seek for him to be further kept by way of appealing the decision, by way of asking for him to be further kept. But anything contrary to that, you have to let him be. Correct. That man that brought him to court, that man who will release him is that individual, that set of characters that drove him to that court that very day, put him in the witness bar and were hanging around for any decision of that court to be taken. After they went to court because they expected the court to give a ruling. Assuming the court said they should keep him, wouldn't they have willingly done so? So now the court said you should leave me. Why wouldn't you do so? You and I went to court. I hope to get the property. You hope to get it. Everybody is hoping that the decision of the court will favor him. Now the decision of the court favors Nnamdi. I refuse to obey. So I will have expected Nnamdi the decision of the court to favor me. Let him obey. And that is why there is punishment and reward. And that is why there are rules and regulations. And that is why we talk about democracy. And that is why you say the democracy is rule of law. If it's under dictatorship, and I'm the dictator, possibly an army general, a civilian dictator, I can overrule the position. And that is why we canvass against dictatorship. That is why we say about democracy and the rule of law. Right. Therefore, let the law rule, because the man who brought him to court brought him according to the law. The man who gave order for him to be detained gave the order according to the law. And the man who told you to leave him did so according to the law. So there's the law.
Thank you. Sorry that might be a little longer, but at least you have heard him. Keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when the court say release him is a kidnap. It's no longer because of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did or did not do. By the way, the barrister or the attorney that you have speaking over there, his name is Arochukwu Paul Ogbonna. Barrister Arochukwu Paul Ogbonna. He's a legal person, and he was the one interpreting and telling us about the rule of law. So, like I said, today's broadcast is supposed not to be long, and I wanted you to hear for yourself that what we are doing, what we, the Biafran people, are doing, the IPOB members are doing, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's followers are doing, whatever group we belong to, be it IPOB, be it Autopilot, be it Umuada, be it Ohaneze, not Ohaneze Ndigbo, because they are not part of us, be it on Igbo Voice or Igbo anything that is shouting and screaming and say, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The people that are saying sit at home, the people that are saying there should be curfew, whichever way, the people that are saying remove all barricades, like that's a checking points. The people that are saying remove all the checking points when you are driving on the road, the policemen barricade here, barricade here, barricade here, so that when you come their junction, you have to stop here, you give money, you stop here, you give money, you stop here. Those things are not seen in Ugwu Hausa, Ala Hausa, or the northerners. They are not there. Nobody is stopping and collecting money. Even in the Yoruba land, it's not there. But only in the eastern, they come, they put checking points every 1 kilometer there. Tax collectors, tax collectors, tax collectors. We say remove all those things. And I also listened to Mazi Simon Ekpa's broadcast that he made last week, when he called on all the commissioners, the Igbo-born commissioners, to resign from the office. If you are still hanging on, Any day something happened to you, we sing Enigwe ga-akwụ ụgwọ, Enigwe akwụ ụgwọ ka ịhụ ya ala. Protect yourselves. Separate yourselves from Nigerian government. They do not like us. We love ourselves. Even though in the midst of all these hatreds, we love ourselves. Biafrans love themselves. Eastern region love themselves. We will liberate ourselves from captivity. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released. And our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers that have been caged because they are Igbos, because they are Biafrans, they must be released. If they don't do it, Nigeria must witness the consequences. And I support, I have been saying it from the one, and I'm not shaking, I'm not looking back. I stand by my words. I support anything anybody can do to bring the Nigerian government to their knees. We have to do it. You have heard Barrister Arochukwu Paul Ogbonna spoke. So when you go home, you can listen again and think about it. Please, thank you so much for listening. Help us to share this broadcast, make it go viral. Please follow us. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Sometimes you can also see us in the Instagram. Please join. We are also in the messengers. You can always join from everywhere. Please, in all your platforms, in your WhatsApp platform, in your Facebook platform, in your Messenger platform, everywhere you are, share this broadcast. Make it go viral. And always have in mind your safety, because safety is very, very important. Have your safety in mind, and have a blessed day. Thank you.